In Catholic social thought, the human person is always at the center, sacred, social, and endowed with dignity. Every social and ethical principle and authentic form of leadership must flow from this conviction. Hi, my name is Keith Warner, and we want to talk about the centrality of human dignity as we address many different topics: economy, family, ecology, politics. But through all of them runs a single golden thread: the human person. Today we'll explore why human dignity is the foundation of all Catholic social thought. Why does Catholic social teaching always begin with the human person, regardless of the topic?
Well, it is true. The Church always talks about the human person. Because the human person created in God's image possesses inalienable dignity. The Church's social vision is personalist, is humanist. Systems and institutions exist for persons, not the other way around, not persons for systems. Human dignity is both the starting point and the goal of all social reflection. The Church always talks about the human person. That's it.
So what's the difference between the human person, and as the Church talks about, individuality, and individualism from a Catholic social teaching perspective?
That's a very interesting difference. About human person, for the Church is a relational being, created by God, oriented toward others, and community, intrinsically social. About individuality, each person's unique, unrepeatable identity. That's a positive aspect.
Unrepeatable identity.
Yes.
Distinct, unrepeatable identity. It's very important.
Yes, as unique, a positive aspect of dignity. Individualism is very different. Distorts the truth by isolating the self, viewing freedom as independence from others. Catholic social thought upholds individuality while rejecting individualism, because authentic freedom is relational and responsible. So we have to distinguish very clearly between these two concepts.
How does the notion of human dignity shape the Church's approach to social issues? I ask that because sometimes we think dignity is only in the individual, and here we're talking about the social thought of the Church.
Well, human dignity is the principle, is the basis of everything that the Church teaches. For instance, this human dignity gives rise to different principles. The best known are the common good, dignity fulfilled in community. Another principle, solidarity or fraternity. Dignity unites us as one family. Another principle, subsidiarity. Dignity includes freedom and participation. So the one that is in power should not do everything. He has to empower the others. Care for creation. The dignity extends to our commonhood. Every social question is, at its core, a question of human dignity.
I remember hearing for the first time about the anthropological term in Catholic theology. And so to me, that was initially very disorienting because I thought it meant something about like digging up old bones or looking at culture. But really it's about this turn to recovering the centrality of human dignity in all of Catholic social thought.
Yes, you can address social problems in very different ways. You can address them from top, saying this is the natural law. The Church, especially after the Second Vatican Council, always start with human dignity from the basis. And because all people without difference are dignified, everything else scatters, has its foundation on this.
Flows from that central concept. So how does that affect our understanding of leadership in the Catholic tradition, given the way in which human dignity is the foundation of all of this?
Yes. Because of that, true leadership, in the light of Catholic social thought, is service-oriented, not control-oriented. Is purpose-oriented, not efficiency-oriented, I told you before. A good leader doesn't dictate or manipulate. Instead, they awaken internal motivation, trust, and responsibility. They make the others protagonists. Leadership means recognizing and developing each person's gifts, helping them feel protagonists, not mere instruments. Authority, then, is exercised for others, not over others.
So it seems that human dignity is something that we have to continually remind ourselves and reintroduce into any conversation, especially when there's a major decision or an ethical conflict. So what happens when societies or organizations lose sight of human dignity? What are the possible negative outcomes of that?
Well, that unfortunately is quite common. People become means to economic or ideological ends. The person is not the end, but the means. Result in exclusion, inequality, and alienation. Catholic social thought offers a prophetic reminder that the person must always be at the center of every decision.
Pope Francis spoke about how many people were marginalized or excluded. He also talked about the throwaway culture. It seems to me like recalling and recentering ourselves on human dignity is a way to overcome those things.
Of course, because everything has to have a meaning and a sense for the human person. Especially in a digitalized, fragmented world, Catholic social teaching calls us back to relational anthropology. Dignity means each person is more than data, utility, or function. This principle unites all ethical and social questions under shared moral vision.
So, in the end, every aspect of Catholic social thought, from economics to ecology, leadership to peace, all begins from the point of departure that the human person, dignified, sacred and social, and responsible, reflected of God's being made in the image of God. To defend human dignity is to serve both God and our human brothers and sisters.
Of course, yes, I agree with that. Because at the end, it's not a question of doing things, but of helping the person to become fully what he or she already is.
Thank you.
Thank you.